Stephen Akinmurele, a prolific serial killer, once an innocent child, grown into an aggressive teenager and into a murdering adult. Was it nature or was it nurture?
I know it's not right, always thinking like this, but it's always on my mind. I can't help the way I feel. What I did was wrong. I know that and I feel for them, but it doesn't mean I won't do it again. I'll keep on having this feeling. I'm going mad because I can't take any more of this, and that's why I'm saying goodbye. I was born in Nigeria in 1978. I cannot remember much of my childhood in Nigeria, but I remember hate. When I turned 10, my mother sent me to the Isle of Man to live with my grandmother. This was the beginning of the great fall in my life.
It wasn't long after moving to the Isle of Man that Stephen fell in with a rough crowd. He soon came to the attention of social workers and the police. Despite only being a child, he faced a string of convictions for burglaries and assaults, all of which were directed against pensioners.
The elderly. Why? Why do we grow old? They stink. They look revolting. My grandmother tried to show love, but I just couldn't give it back. Filthy, filthy beings. I had no parents around, no discipline. No one to stop me from hurting wrinkled up old hags. Some children would love for this opportunity. But it was this opportunity that gave birth to the real me. The real me that would send shivers down the spines of the elderly. The real me. A serial killer.
At the age of 19, Stephen moved to Blackpool and rented a bedsit on Cheltenham Road in North Shore. He found work as a barman at Rumours nightclub on Talbot Road. Among the locals, Stephen was known as a drifter, making friends among drug addicts in the city. He was a promiscuous bisexual and would present to his various partners trophies from robberies that he had committed. In early October of 1997, he was eventually fired from his job at Rumours. Addicted to drugs and now jobless, Stephen continued through the downward spiral of his life. He did, according to his girlfriend, commit a half-hearted suicide attempt. Was this a cry for help? An attempt to break free from the horrors of his life? Or was he trying to prevent his inevitable future? 3 weeks after the failed suicide attempt, Stephen murdered Eric and Joan Boardman.
I entered the home when I knew she would be alone. It was an easy plan. I waited in the dark for hours, and then I heard her coming down the stairs. My next victim. I knew what I had to do. I'd done it many times before. It was like a play I had well rehearsed. All I had to do was pounce and strangle her. She was old. I knew she couldn't fight back. The elderly are weak. Disgusting. I heard movement upstairs. I knew her husband was home. I decided to leave her body in such a way that Eric would find her and coerce him into the living room. He was fighting to save her, but it was too late. I didn't expect him to put up such a great struggle. An old man with a bite. I had to get out of there, quick. There was no time to clean up.
Eric and Joan's daughter Marilyn arrived at her parents' house on the morning of October 30th. Upon noticing her mother's absence from her usual spot at the front door, she rings the bell again to no avail. Letting herself in, Marilyn was confronted by a scene that was at once both nightmarish and surreal. In the blood-spattered hallway lay the body of a stepfather. He'd been brutally battered to death, and his body lay beneath a toppled wardrobe. Stepping by the body, Marilyn began frantically searching the rest of the house for her mother. She went in the rear living room. Something was blocking the door. It was the body of Joan Boardman. She had been strangled and lay on her back. Washing from a basket had been emptied over her. The smart, end-terraced house Joan shared with her husband Eric in Seafield Road was now a major crime scene.
Police have now announced that they are reopening other cases, including those of several fatal fires in Blackpool. Stephen's connection to these arson attacks are yet to be announced, but it has been confirmed that a joint murder incident room has now been set up for the Lancashire and Isle of Man Constabulary to work together on the case. It has been deemed that all of Stephen's victims were elderly, but investigators are yet to find out the root cause behind Stephen's pathological hatred towards the older generation.
I was arrested on the 1st of November. I was just 20 years old. They found my fingerprints on the weapon I had made to beat my last victim to death. Like I said, there wasn't enough time to clean up. I was known to the authorities in the Isle of Man for previous offences, so identifying me through fingerprints was child's play. They started connecting me to other murders, and it was my duty to confess. I became the Cul-de-Sac killer.
Going back to before Stephen's arrest, to the 2nd of October in 1998, a fire had blazed through number 50 on Cornt Street. Two elderly residents managed to escape unhurt by jumping onto a flat roof. George Cargill, aged 82, was taken to hospital suffering from smoke inhalation. He had to be prevented from rushing back into the burning building in search of his wife, landlady Jemmimah Cargill, who ran the property as a guest house. Her body was found among the debris of the house that she had lived in for over 20 years. She was 75 years old.
At first the police considered there were no suspicious circumstances, but while in custody, I admitted the killing. I told them I was there to carry out a contract killing of a young man on behalf of some drug dealers. While in the premises, I came across Jemmimah Cargill, my former landlady. She was a rude, old bag. I would never become that. So why do others? I had to stop it.
He then strangled Cargill and spent some time at the property, possibly making a meal, before setting fire to the house and leaving. On November the 5th, in Courtroom 3 of Blackpool Magistrates Court, he was charged with the third murder. In August of 1999, Stephen was on the 24-hour suicide watch. He had made an attempt on his own life by overdosing on medication while in a segregated unit at Strangeways in Manchester. He was put on the prison's healthcare ward on self-harm watch, but whilst there, staff discovered he'd sharpened the end of a toothbrush and fantasized about taking an elderly female member of staff hostage. While back in Blackpool on remand, Stephen seriously assaulted an elderly police surgeon. He told prison hospital doctor Andre Riziki that he'd lie in bed at night thinking about murder. He was placed back in the segregated unit, despite still being on suicide watch. 2 days later, he managed to kill himself. He was found by a prison guard hanging by clothing from the bars of his cell window. The only other item that was found was a note in Stephen's pocket.
I know it's not right, always thinking like this, but it's always on my mind. I can't help the way I feel. What I did was wrong. I know that and I feel for them, but it doesn't mean I won't do it again. I'll keep on having this feeling. I'm going mad because I can't take any more of this, and that's why I'm saying goodbye.
Was this Stephen's attempt at forgiveness? By ending his own life? Or was this the only escape that his mind could find? What made him kill? What fueled his anger towards the elderly? Did his nan abuse him? Was it revenge on his parents for leaving him with an elderly relative? Was he trying to make them suffer in the way that he felt that he had suffered? What made him a killer? Was it nature? Or was it nurture?